Greetings, dear listeners, and welcome to 1812 Channel. As many of you know, I recently acquired a lobby of 72 books about the War of 1812, which I unboxed here on the channel. Well, the gentleman who sold me the books, who was a former War of 1812 reenactor, told me he had written his own book on the War of 1812 and that he would send me a copy. And here it is. And I don't know if you can see this clearly. It's kind of got a burlap cover on it. And it says The War of 1812, a chronology of the military actions 1812 to 1815 by D.R.Westhouse. D.R.Westhouse. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it's a manuscript. But no, there's an actual book in here. There's pictures, text. There's even some really nice maps. I hope you can see those somewhat clearly. So there's some really nice maps. So I'm going to be delving into this because I could definitely make use of a chronology in my work here on 1812 Channel. Now, D.R.Westhouse, the gentleman's first name is Dave. Dave has a YouTube channel called Cache Canada. Cache Canada, C-A-C-H-E, and it has videos on it about travel and geocaching, but it also features a video of him in his red coat uniform. I think he held the rank of sergeant, explaining how to make a blank 19th century cartridge, a blank 19th century musket cartridge. So I'm going to put a link to that channel and to that particular video in the description. But that's not all. Included with Dave's book of the War of 1812, a chronology of the military action, he sent me a number of small books. Here's one called The Defense of Stonington by J. Hammond Trumbull, which was published by the Dodo Press. And this is about a military action in Connecticut during the War of 1812. Here's one simply called War 1812, the United States and Great Britain at Mackinac, 1812 to 1815, by George S. May. Although I don't wish to quibble, but the picture on the cover here looks more like action in the Niagara than at Mackinac Island. But I will check that out and find out if my impression is true. Fort Mose, okay. Gracia Real de Santa Teresa de Mose, a free black town in Spanish colonial Florida, by Jane Landers. And I probably butchered the Spanish name there. But this is an aspect of the Creek War and the military actions between the United States and Spain, which is a part of the War of 1812. And finally, we have here, this is another book about the Creek War, Victory at the Horseshoe, Andrew Jackson in the Creek War, by James W. Holland. James W. Holland. And there's a very famous military historian who's very popular right now, James Holland, who writes extensively on World War II. Somehow I don't think this is the same James Holland, but who knows? Maybe I'll find out that it is. So, if this is your first visit to 1812 Channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I'm your host. But I'm not an expert on the War of 1812. I'm just a student wishing to learn about the war. So, could we all maybe learn together? I'd like to make the channel into sort of a discussion forum for the War of 1812. But for that, I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you to subscribe and to comment on my videos. So won't you please enlist? When the barrage lifts, cheers, and thanks, Dave. I'm looking forward to reading this. Cheers.